All right, hi everybody. I am back with the last Dramione that I read in the month of August, which was Isolation by Bex Chan. I know this is one of the OG Dramiones. I googled like what's the most popular, what's the most widely read Dramione, and this was the answer. I know there's some divided thoughts about this one, but if you've never read it, I do think it was really good. I really enjoyed it. In scope alone, this one is worth reading. It is sort of a masterpiece. So this one is pretty canon compliant up until book 7, and it sort of reimagines book 7 a little bit differently, which is part of why it's just kind of so epic, because it kind of like rewrites all of book 7. It is the start of Hermione's 7th year at Hogwarts, and things are tense. Dumbledore has just been unalived. Harry and Ron have gone off to search for Horcruxes, and they've left Hermione at Hogwarts to research, as well as to help Minerva McGonagall keep the peace and order. So she's a head girl. One night, Snape shows up to Hogwarts with Draco, begs Minerva to hide Draco because Voldemort wants Draco unalived for his failure regards to Dumbledore. And reluctantly, she agrees and decides the only person she trusts that would actually have the time and ability to look after Draco is her head girl, Hermione. So she calls for Hermione, and when she arrives in Minerva's office, she immediately attacks Snape, and then when she sees Draco, she attacks him too, believing them to be the enemy. And Minerva has to reveal the truth about Snape and the predicament that Draco's in, and begs her to agree to house him. Hermione finally does, on the condition that Draco cannot leave the room and cannot have magic. Their relationship is obviously like well past contentious, but he's not a danger to her without magic, so she kind of just learns to coexist with him. But he, on the other hand, isolated and purposeless, kind of begins to lose his ties to his sanity. He finds the only thing that makes him feel alive is Granger, specifically their bickering and heated disputes, and just like her presence is sort of like reassuring to him. It was actually really sad and very sweet. During one of their disputes, in a fit of rage, she slices both their hands open to smash their blood together. It's jarring for him. When he cannot tell his blood from hers, his deeply ingrained beliefs begin to waver. She begins giving him Muggle literature to try and bring him to the right side of history. For example, the autobiography of Martin Luther King. She gives him Romeo and Juliet. They begin to draw closer, mostly because he is physically unable to ken without her presence. Until one day when she is stung by a bee and he has to administer her EpiPen. Once she is safe, they share an almost accidental kiss, almost. This begins a physical relationship between them that, again, tests the limits of Draco's sanity. He cannot give himself to her fully because he's still dealing with everything he's ever learned in his life. She pulls away, but he pulls closer. He's conflicted. This back and forth tension continues until the Death Eaters come to Hogwarts. So as I said, this fic then reimagines the Battle of Hogwarts with Draco on the other side of the Order, and kind of is interesting to see how that would have changed things. People are divided on this one, but I can see why it's so popular. Like I said, just the scope is incredible. It's such like an epic feat that this author accomplished, with having essentially rewritten book 7, imagining what it would be like with Draco on Hermione's side. The characters' interactions and development in this one are really stunning. Draco's clinging to sanity during the isolations, the feelings that he wars with in his relationship with Hermione, and then in his other relationships, especially with his father and with his mother and Andromeda and Tonks and Blaise and most excruciatingly Theo. They are what make this fic so special and at the top of Dramione canon, in my opinion. And anyway, that's all I have to say about that one. If you've read this one, let me know your thoughts. I'm interested to hear from you if you liked it or if you didn't like it. I just kind of want to hear people's thoughts on this one because I had many thoughts. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye!